Hello. In this video, the third of the introductory series, I'll talk about the assessment for BIAL 8704, the types of activities you'll be doing, and why we've chosen to include these assessment items. Assessment can be quite complex, as indicated in the cartoon here. We want everybody to get to the same end point, that is to meet the learning outcomes, but people have very different skills and abilities at the starting point. So the cartoon is obviously an extreme example, but we can deal with this issue by giving different types of assessments that reward different skills and abilities, but we can also provide opportunities for support and practice so that people can improve where they need to improve and still meet the learning outcomes. In this course, we take both of those approaches. So we need to think about the learning outcomes because that's what you need to meet to pass the course. You need to be able to do the things that are listed in the learning outcomes. So let's go through them. You need to engage in an independent investigation and evaluate selected biology research topics. And I've talked in another video about independence. This is an online course, so you are responsible for doing the work, keeping up, and generally acting independently. You'll critically analyse and evaluate research literature, and we also want you to communicate the research findings. So you need to understand what the important findings are so that you can then tell us. We also want you to think about what scientists do by applying and reflecting on professional and personal standards of conduct. Think about how scientists use evidence and how they respond to controversial issues. The assessments involve a range of genres to communicate scientific research and information. So we have different types of writing assignments, but they all rely on analysis and communication. You can think of assessment as a puzzle, as shown here. So the assessment has to be linked to the learning outcomes, so we know that you've met the learning outcomes when you pass the assessment. But you don't have to do this by yourself. We structure course activities and provide resources to help you complete those assessment activities. We also give you feedback and provide support so that you understand what you're doing, practice what you're doing, and improve. All of the assessment is based on this diagram here though: reading and understanding, critically analysing, and then communicating. So these are the skills that you have to demonstrate by the end of the course. So the assessment, as I've said, is a range of different types. You have quizzes, 3 of them, worth 15%. There are 3 think pieces, and these are short opinion pieces where you focus on the main message, not the detail. They're worth 20%. Literature analysis assignments are where you do get into the detailed analysis of a paper, but just one paper or a couple of papers. There are 3 of these assignments worth 25%. The research essay is where you integrate and synthesize the complex literature that you've been reading by putting together information from a range of different sources. To help you think about learning and evaluate your own progress, we've also included 5 learning reflections worth 2% each. If you add all this up, it tells you there's a piece of assessment almost every week. And this comes back to the issue of independence, structuring your time that we've talked about before. It's really important that you keep up with the material, keep up with the reading, keep up with the assessment. And that means structuring your time and being very organised. There's more information in the course outline and on the Wattle course book about the assessment, what you need to do well, and why we have included these assessment pieces. So have a look at that. An important aspect of writing your assignments is maintaining appropriate standards of academic integrity. So since the learning outcomes for the course mean understanding and communicating complex literature, one of the best ways to demonstrate this is that you can express complex ideas in your own words. If you're doing this, you need have no concerns about academic integrity. So what we want you to do is read, analyse, understand, present in your own words. This means that you won't have any problems with plagiarism, but you'll also do much better in terms of your grades. We use Turnitin for some assignments, but everything you submit, even if it's not through Turnitin, should be your own words. You, of course, need to reference your sources, and Harvard-style referencing is appropriate for this course. So when you did Bio 8291 with Rochelle, you learnt about academic integrity and plagiarism. So think about that during this course. This is an opportunity to apply the skills that you've learnt and apply the standards of academic integrity that you learnt about in that course. If you don't do this, of course, there will be penalties. So if you're very concerned or unsure about any of this, just contact me and we can go through it some more. The other way to think about assessment in the course is to structure it by module. I've already talked about the 3 different modules and what they cover, but we've put the same assessment into each module. And this is a chance for you to do each piece of assessment in the module, get feedback and improve for the next module. So it's a progressive course where you keep on doing the same types of assignments but on different topics. And so you can improve by taking on board the feedback that you get. Module 3 includes the essay as well as the other components, and you must pass Module 3 to pass the course. So for the total mark for your quiz, think piece, literature assignment, essay outline and essay in Module 3, you need to get at least 50%, and you also need to get at least 50% in the course overall. So let's now look at the individual pieces of assessment and why we've included them. The main reason that we have quizzes is just to check that you understand the key ideas. So you'll do the reading for a module, then there'll be a short quiz with simple multiple choice and short answer questions just to give you feedback on how well you've understood the content. There's 1 quiz for each module, worth 5% each. The think pieces aim to help you develop and present your own ideas on complex topics. They're an opinion piece, so they're not really scientific writing, and the focus is on identifying and presenting the key message. So it's about clear communication, and we'll talk more about this later on in the course. As part of the think piece assessment, you'll also evaluate your own writing and your peers' writing. And this is to help you understand different writing styles, to evaluate good writing, and to understand the marking criteria. The think pieces over the 3 modules increase in value from 5% to 7% and then 8%. The peer evaluation is assessed independently and that's worth 2%. So the peer evaluation counts towards your learning reflections, because this is a chance for you to reflect on learning, evaluate your progress and understand the standards that we're applying. So as well as the 3 peer evaluations, there'll be a beginning course reflection and an end of course reflection, also worth 2% each. The literature analysis assignments are designed to help you analyse complex papers. Here we've given you a structure that you can apply to any paper. A paper can be quite overwhelming to read, and it is hard work to analyse complex papers. So in these assignments, we've given you a structure that breaks down the complex task into a series of smaller tasks. And this is a good strategy for any difficult assignment that you need to tackle. But don't try and do it all at once, but break it down into smaller, more manageable bits. And these assignments give you a structure that show you how to do that. So you'll be able to analyse papers for your final essay more effectively. The first 2 literature analysis assignments are worth 10% each, but the final one is only worth 5% because that directly contributes to your essay. Which brings us to the essay. So here the purpose is for you to research, analyse and synthesise a complex topic and then present it in an essay format. It builds on the skills that you've learnt in this course, which also build on the skills you learnt in Bio 8291. So the essay is structured that you'll submit an outline first, worth 5%, and that's a chance for me to give you feedback on your topic, the depth of your analysis, whether you're on the right track to write a good essay. The final literature analysis assignment is linked to the essay as well, and then the essay is worth 25%. So now we've looked at all of the assessment pieces, the quizzes, the think pieces, literature analysis assignments, the research essay, and the learning reflections. And just a reminder that you do need to pass the Module 3 assessment to pass the course. Late assignments attract a penalty of 5% per day. Please email me if you need an extension, and preferably before the due date. To get an extension, you need to have a good reason, like you're sick or have some personal difficulties. So if this is the case, get in touch and we'll try and sort out some other arrangements. So what you should do now is get going with Module 1. There's an introductory survey, which doesn't count for anything, but it's just a chance for you to think about your beliefs about science and for us to have a look at your ideas. The first learning reflection is available on the discussion forum, and this is worth 2%. In this, you'll introduce yourself to me and to your peers by answering a few short questions about your interests and your aims. You should also read the course outline and become familiar with the information in the Wattle course book, because that will be helpful to you throughout the course. So now you can do the first learning reflection.